The ice does not forgive. It does not bargain. And it definitely does not care if you are a king. In the frozen wastelands of the Pleistocene, silence is usually a lie mask worn by death before it strikes. For thousands of years, the saber-toothed cat was the phantom of this snow, a creature designed to kill with a single, surgical bite. But even phantoms feel fear when the shadow falls over them. Because in this world, there is a monster that makes kings look like prey. A beast so large, it can look a man in the eye while standing on all fours. This is the story of the day. The Fanged King met the God of Hunger. Chapter 1. The Phantom of the Frost Visual. A sleek, muscular Smilodon, moving through the snow, close up on his massive canine teeth. Voros was not just a cat, he was a biological masterpiece of the Smilodon fatalis. He carried a pair of 7-inch canines that curved like scimitars from his upper jaw. He moved through the dense boreal forest with a silence that defied his 200-kilogram frame. The world around him was dying, locked in the grip of a glacial maximum, but Voros was alive with the heat of the hunt. His target was a juvenile bison, separated from the herd by the deepening snowdrifts. Voros did not chase prey like the wolves. He was an ambush specialist. He relied on explosive power, crouched behind a fallen spruce tree, his muscles coiled like steel cables under a coat of tawny fur. His breath came in shallow, controlled bursts, misting in the freezing air. He was the apex, the jagged edge of or so he believed. When he launched, it was a blur of violence. He hit the bison with the force of a falling boulder, his massive forelimbs grappling the beast to the ground. The kill was quick, his long fangs slicing through the windpipe, severing the arteries instantly. It was a perfect kill, but as the hot blood melted the snow beneath his paws, Voros's ears swiveled back. The birds had stopped singing. The wind had died, and the heavy, unmistakable scent of rot and musk began to drift through the trees. He was not alone. Chapter 2. The Eater of Worlds Visual. The camera pans up a massive dark shape. A short-faced bear steps out, towering over the trees. If Voros was a knife, the creature emerging from the mist was a hammer. It was Arctidus Simus, the giant short-faced bear, the most terrifying mammalian carnivore to ever walk the earth. He was known simply as the Titan, standing on all fours. He looked the bison in the eye. When he reared up, he stood 12 feet tall, a mountain of fur, scar tissue, and bad intent. The Titan did not hunt in the traditional sense. He didn't have to. He was a kleptoprosita thief of the highest order. Why waste energy chasing food when you can simply take it from those smaller than you? And to the Titan, everything was smaller. He possessed a short, bulldog-like snout designed for crushing bone, and long, lanky legs that allowed him to cover vast distances effortlessly. He had smelled the blood of Voros's kill from 3 miles away. Now, he crashed through the underbrush, snapping small trees like matchsticks. The ground trembled with his approach. Voros stood over his prize, his hackles raised, a low growl rumbling in his chest like a chainsaw. But the Titan didn't care. He walked straight toward the cat, confident in the mathematics of mass. He weighed nearly a ton, times the size of the cat. He let out a roar that shook the snow from the pine needles, a sound that said only one thing: move or die. Chapter 3. The impossible choice. In the animal kingdom, logic usually overrides pride. The logical move for Voros was to run. No amount of bravery fills a stomach if you are dead. But this winter had been cruel. The herds were thinning, and Voros had not eaten in a week. If he abandoned this kill, he might not find the strength to hunt again. He was fighting for more than a meal. He was fighting against his own starvation. Voros stood his ground. He flashed his sabers, opening his jaw to an impossible 120 degrees, displaying the weapons that had made his species legendary. He hissed, a sharp, piercing sound. The Titan paused. He was used to wolves scattering like leaves. He was used to lesser bears bowing their heads. This cat was different. This cat was desperate. The Titan tested the perimeter. He lunged forward a mock charge designed to panic the opponent. Voros didn't flinch. Instead, the cat swiped with his left paw, his claws tearing a shallow gash in the Titan's sensitive nose. The pain was sharp, unexpected. The Titan roared in fury, rising to his full hind leg height, blotting out the pale sun. He was a wall of death, casting a long shadow over the cat. The psychological warfare was over. The physical war had begun. Chapter 4. The Clash of Kings. The fight was a chaotic dance of speed versus power. The Titan swung a paw the size of a man's torso, a blow that could shatter a spine effortlessly. Voros ducked, his belly fur brushing the snow, and countered with a leap. He latched onto the Titan's shoulder, sinking his claws deep into the thick hide, trying to climb the mountain to reach the throat, but the bear was too strong. The Titan shook his massive body, throwing Voros off as if he were a rag doll. The cat landed hard, tumbling through the snow, but rolled instantly back to his feet. Voros knew he couldn't win a wrestling match. He had to be a ghost strike and vanish. He lunged again, this time aiming for the bear's legs, trying to hamstring the giant. The Titan was slow, but he wasn't stupid. As Voros moved in, the bear didn't bite. He simply used his weight. He dropped to all fours, slamming his chest into the cat, pinning Voros to the frozen earth. The air left Voros' lungs in a pained wheeze. The Titan's jaws, capable of crushing a bowling ball, snapped inches from Voros' face. The cat scrambled, using his powerful hind legs to kick wildly at the bear's stomach. A lucky strike caught the Titan in the soft underbelly, forcing him to recoil just enough. Voros scrambled free, gasping for air, blood dripping from his flank. Chapter 5. The cold truth. The adrenaline was fading, replaced by the crushing reality of the cold. Both predators were wounded. Voros was limping, his ribs bruised, his energy reserves critically low. The Titan was bleeding from multiple slashes, his nose torn, his dominance questioned. They stood 10 feet apart, the bison carcass now cold and stiff between them. The Titan looked at the meat, then at the cat. The calculation was happening behind his small, dark eyes. To kill the cat would require more energy, more risk, and more blood. Was the meal worth an infected wound? Was it worth a blinded eye? The Titan snorted, a cloud of steam billowing from his nostrils. He took a single step back, then another. He had decided the price was too high. With a final, begrudging grunt, the giant turned his massive bulk away, disappearing into the white void of the blizzard as quickly as he had arrived. Voros did not roar in victory. He did not celebrate. He simply collapsed onto the bison carcass, tearing into the flesh with desperate urgency. He had won the day, but in the Ice Age, victory is just permission to survive until tomorrow. As the snow began to bury the bloodstains, the Fanged King ate alone, watching the tree line, knowing that in this world, there is always a bigger monster waiting in the dark.